Hi, I'm Margaret Martin. I'm a physical therapist, and for the past 40 years, I've been helping people like you get stronger, move better, reduce their pain, and maintain their independence. I'm also fortunate to be a certified strength and conditioning specialist and certified yoga instructor. One benefit of traveling is being able to drop into fitness centers and see what popular moves are happening today. Today, I'm going to share 5 upper body exercises that will actually harm you more than help you. So especially if you have osteoporosis, osteoarthritis, or disc herniations, these are problematic exercises. And the problem with these, and most other ill-advised exercises, is that you don't usually know that you're doing any harm until it's too late. I'll first demonstrate the exercise that I would not advise you to do, then I'll explain the issues that I have with the exercise, and where possible, I'll demonstrate a safe alternative. Exercise 1. Standing single arm overhead lift. Here we see a model keeping her spine straight and tall, doing it perfectly. But then again, she's a cartoon. Even in healthy young men, you see how the body will side bend away to help counterbalance the weight. The side bending places an uneven load on an already vulnerable spine. Studies show that even unweighted side bends increase the risk of vertebral compression fractures. An intelligent alternative is a slow, controlled, symmetrical overhead lift. This move has been shown to be safe in studies year after year in the Australian Liftmore trials. There has never been any studies involving women with osteoporosis or osteopenia doing a single arm overhead lift. It is a risk not worth taking. Exercise 2. The standing single arm overhead lift while passing a weight from one hand to the other. This is another variation of the single arm lift that I've just spoken about, but especially for individuals who may have some arthritis, they're a little bit unfocused during their exercise. Regardless of age or condition, passing a weight overhead is just unsafe. I've worked with head injuries, and you just see the silliest things happen. But I've often even heard exercise trainers say, if you don't have a weight or dumbbell at home, you could simply use a rock. It's so very dangerous and not worth the risk. Exercise 3, the seated overhead lift. If you look at the chart from the study that was done by Alf Nakedson, who is an orthopedic surgeon, you'll see that sitting places 40% more pressure on the disc of the spine than standing. Disc on the spine is not a healthy thing for individuals with osteoporosis, because that increased disc pressure will push against the softer bone in the spine. When we sit, we also have a combination of flexion as well. So disc pressure can lead to what's called biconcave fractures of your spine. The increased pressure, as you see, will make it look like there's a smile under the disc and a frown above the disc. The flexion of the spine can also lead to wedge compressions. Sitting is problematic also for individuals with disc herniations. This disc pressure increases in the same way just because you're sitting, but also that increased disc pressure will make the herniation worse. Exercise 4, the double arm band row with feet parallel to each other. A double arm row standing tall with feet parallel to each other is a disaster waiting to happen. I often see it demonstrated by well-meaning but ill-trained enthusiasts, sometimes even by physical therapists. I've seen my share of snapped bands over the years. Doing a row with feet parallel to one another doesn't provide you with any protection should the band snap. You must stand with a staggered stance. This way you're going to keep yourself safe, and as you pull back, you'll feel secure that should that band snap, you will be able to stop yourself from falling back because of the weight on the back foot. Exercise 5, seated bicep lift or seated bicep curl. The issue with sitting for individuals with osteoporosis is, as I said with the overhead lift, is not only the increased disc pressure, 40% more in sitting than standing, but also the position of the back. When knees are slightly higher than your hips, the back goes into flexion. So this is especially true with low benches and low chairs that people choose. Disc pressure can, in osteoporotic individuals, lead to biconcave compressions of your spine. As the disc pressure increases, it pushes against the end plates of the spine and creates what looks like a smile and a frown in the vertebrae around it. Flexion of the spine can also lead to more compression in the front of the vertebrae, or what's known as a wedge fracture. For individuals with this herniation, there's not only the increased disc pressure, but also the position of the back, which is often in flexion. The combination of increased disc pressure and flexion increases the risk of further herniation. So just as with any other seated dumbbell exercise, 99% of the time, even though people are advised to, get up when holding the weights, to put the weights back down, they will simply bend forward and drop the weights on the floor. That is going to put far more load and contribute to further risk of injury over time. If you're looking for safe and intelligent exercise routines that take into consideration the health of your bones and your discs, you can find them in the playlist here. Thanks for joining me today.